Hey y'all, grown black folks talk. Black women, black men, caste switching, and how we stop these arguments, at least on an individual level. Because I'm spending more time with my mom, I'm watching more court shows. And in watching more court shows, today on a court show called Hot Bench, which has three judges, it's an offshoot of Judge Judy's empire. She noticed that her media empire, she noticed she liked a way that the British have three judges to decide different cases and just brought that over for the American television audience. There was a case of there's a family dispute more than anything else between a brother and a sister from the black community. Black man, black woman. And I was sitting today, actually this morning, trying to conceptualize how we can stop getting all upset. Well, why is it that black men react as if Venus Williams marrying Andre, some black men, not all, not the ones I know, and I'll get into that later, react as if some black men react as if Venus Williams marries an existential threat, and some black women react like this is hope for the end all black women. There's a specific reason that that happens, and it actually goes back 400 years. But let's deal with something that we can handle up front, okay? Because this case hit all of the well-known tomes. But there's something very specific going on that can stop the arguments on an individual level for both black women and black men. There's something better to do than to be caught in this paradigm. This was a case over a loan. The brother had agreed to pay it back at a certain time once he received a certain settlement. But the relationships in the family had been breaking down for years, and over the course of them absolutely acting a fool and arguing up in court, a lot of details came out that just sound like they came off of the last day on the internet for the way black men and women, many online, are behaving. And they even rolled out to black female empowerment at the end. I was like, whoa, okay. So he had agreed to pay it back when he received a particular settlement. But in the meantime, as she's asking him, has it come in, he gets mad because she doesn't trust him. And he begins to be very aggressive in their communications. And the fact that his emotions are out of control became obvious because he got so mad he started cursing at court. But see, there was a white male judge, there were two female judges, a Latina and a I'm guessing because her name is either Amharic or Tigrinya in its construction. She is from Ethiopia or Eritrea, which we will then know because we know our history say this is a queen from the land of Queen Amani Renas of Kush, the queen who put the Roman Empire out of her country, the only African who was ever able to do that. Honorable mention to her husband and her son who died in the attempt. Honorable mention to Hannibal over in Carthage. They failed. She succeeded. This queen judge from the land of Amani Renas. But because she is by appearance, I mean, she is a beautiful woman too. She just a black woman to him, so he started getting out of pocket with her. But she shut that down very queenly. She basically said, no, do you know who you're talking to? So I'm so sorry, that wasn't really meant for you. So I'm sitting up here like, okay, you got your out of control text messages. You and your mom aren't getting along, you and your sister aren't getting along, and you just displace this. So we know how you behave in all your relationships with black women, because you just displacing this anger on everybody, every black woman that you meet. And this woman's going to decide whether you got to get up off of thousands of dollars. But she was very queenly. She just kept it moving. And she reckoned she is the standard whereby she does not have to get to the level of a man like this. She, because of what she does, is sitting in a position that legally and caste wise is above him as an immigrant African woman. Maybe. She may be first generation, but her name holds some heft in this crazy caste system we live in. And she was just sitting way up there on the bench. She's like, oh, you're not directed to me, but I'm feeling the heat. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You calm down. But let me tell you when his behavior really got on point though. He said some things he shouldn't have said in court, and that white male judge said, but you said what? He wasn't gonna act right toward his sister because she brought the evidence, text messages, blah blah. And she's like, "Listen, I'm sparing him. She said some things to me that I'm not gonna even put on the record, but I got them. But I'm never gonna share that. I'm just gonna say that they weren't nice. I'll just let you read what they have there." She had evidence he's aggrieved and more angry that she brought him into court so they would be publicly revealed. But he got so mad over the course. So this is the stuff they were throwing back and forth. She's always calling blah 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 blah. Doesn't even have a good relationship with her mama. She said, "I'm cutting all of y'all off because mama always favored, always acted like I just existed to serve you." I'm like, oh, Black women coddling their sons and raising their daughters and making their daughters responsible and centering their sons. It ruins both son and daughter. But this particular Black daughter is like, nope, I have my family. I am me. I do not need my mom or him. I have my family. I have my children. So he gonna throw at her, yeah, you getting divorced, so you need to shut up. And she just grinned. I'm like, sir, you don't understand what's about to happen here. She going no contact with her mom because her mom centered you. She's cutting off her husband because he isn't treating her right from her perspective. We don't know. And she about to get this money from you because you went on and said in court, she doesn't deserve to have it. I'm not going to pay it. And that's what she said. That he's always acted like I don't deserve anything because that's how mom raised him, that I didn't deserve anything. And that's why I'm cutting them off. So only the white man could truly control his behavior in terms of him getting right on point. The queen could bring it down temporarily, but he didn't get on point and stop acting fool till the white man got involved. The Latina was willing to go back and forth, but just realizing, using the power of her position to let him know, I'm gonna let you go so far, and then you're about to get really messed up. So they all were able to moderate his behavior from a higher legal position than him, also from a higher caste position. Keep that in mind. So they go out and they deliberate. The case ended up being over since he said in court that he wasn't gonna do it and he owes it. And so they were talking about, well, we really don't have to do anything because and the Latina judge came back and delivered the decision. She said, we're unanimous. You have done something called anticipatory disavowal, meaning that it does not matter to you what you said, because you said you would pay your sister back when the settlement check came. But you have now said in court that you're not going to pay it because you don't feel she deserves it. We would have said that she was premature because the settlement is running late and that she could come back perhaps when that date comes. But because you've already said you aren't going to do anything, we're just going to go on and rule in her favor because if we don't, you've already said you're not going to do it. So we're ruling in favor of the plaintiff. Bam! Gavel goes down. She's leaving grinning about getting her money and cutting him off, like she's gonna cut her mother and her husband off, and gonna take her money and go on with her life without her children. Like you said, I'm me, I have chosen my own family. He just agreed, and all he brought to the court, unfortunately, was his sense of being aggrieved because he could not dispute the evidence that he himself created in court of his behavior toward her and everything that she had saved. There was not a Black man on the bench to even attempt to see his situation. The queen from Ethiopia, being wise in a queenly spirit, did her best to show him some humanity. But he didn't appreciate it. So the white male judge stepped right on in when he was ready. And just you could just hear the whip crack of the centuries. Never mind that the man is Italian and probably never even had that whip, but we're not gonna go there. Because what I want to talk about is when I watch this roll out, and I talk about how the manosphere talks about the matriarchy and how Black men talk about if they go to court for child support with a Black woman, they can't win. The system favors them. Well, what it really is that Black women have done better in some cases in adapting to learning how to work in the system. The fact that Her Honor Yodit Tuwalde is sitting on the bench in the United States of America and there's no Black man there means that in Judge Judy's circle, that's who she wanted. She may have chosen her over any number of people, but the point is, she's able to move more fluidly through the system than some others. We don't know who she beat out for the position. It doesn't even matter. Her Honor Yodit Tuwalde is sitting on that bench with the white man, equal in power with him, and the Latino woman. The sister knew how to bring evidence and so won her case. Meaning that two Black women have learned how to operate in the system such that they do what they want to do, they get what they want to get, and the black man goes away even more grieved and upset, and also out of several $1,000. Well, depends on where you put several versus a few, but a significant sum of money. And she walked away talking about, yeah, it's gonna be good for my new year, because that's what I'm like, whoa. She was not shy about the fact that, yeah, I got what I need, I'm done. Her Honor Yodit Tuwalde is going to be sitting on the bench next season. This is actually a rerun. She made it into the next season. The white man has changed out, but she's in the next season. She's still getting paid. Brother man is probably still mad. I don't know that. I hope he moved on with his life. I hope a settlement came in and it all things the way they need to be. But in watching this, I realized why these things are so fraught. Because And why the manosphere is up here talking about the matriarchy. Well, the matriarchy and why black men think they are getting somewhere talking about waiting for the government to break up with black women. I'm like, the 2 days after the video, the snap was turned back on. I'm like, if you rely, it's like I was telling y'all in the last video. When the last black woman put your tailbone out, you do not want her to have less resources. You don't want her to have to choose between you and your kids. Where are you going? See, there's two existential threats. One of them is if you perceive as the patriarchy that was we practice it in this country as the only reality that you can exist in, the patriarchy in this country works like this: white men over everybody, all other races, rich white men over everybody, meaning money matters in this hierarchy as well, but always men over women in every race and in every class, except that if black women know how to use the system as it exists better, this leads to the suggestion of caste switching, meaning that in the lowest caste, meaning who's going to be at the bottom of the lowest class, this will be the one race of people in the one caste position where the women are up over the men. That's the existential threat. Do you know what happens to you in a patriarchy when your women are considered stronger than you? In a patriarchy, a brutal one like this one, do you know what happens to you as a man if that becomes your situation? Having watched this today and having remembered the child support conversation I've heard online and elsewhere, having watched these things play out, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, sometimes even father, daughter, and watched what happened and how these black women went on with their lives and leveled up afterwards and left these men right there, sometimes to die. I understand why, to a point, Russell Wilson, light skinned and living a higher caste life, that living a higher life than his caste would suggest because of his athletic ability. Uh, her being with Ciara being with him as opposed to Future, who has made his money selling, keeping the caste system where it is, because Future and the rest helped to reprogram the rest of the other people living in his caste system that we deserve to be in the bottom. Out here calling us ninjas, witches, and bows who do Molly Percocet. See, they hope they're gonna get that rap deal and get paid off to do the same thing, just like some of their fathers were paid to put drugs in the community by that same government, by the same rich white men they say they hate. But then some of them are looking for that paycheck too. So they want Future to have a woman like Ciara because that keeps everybody down. Because they believe that this is how it has to be so they can maintain their position as black men over black women. So if this gets upset in any way, they go below us in caste status. That's why even Russell and Ciara are a problem because she moved upwardly mobile to him and he moved upwardly mobile because of his ability. And then if you put Venus and Andrea and you put Alexis, Serena and Alexis, Maximilian and Eve, you put all those things out. And please don't forget Meghan and Harry. And even looking at her relatives, her white male relative, her white male, that half of her family that's out there acting a complete fool for everybody to see, and also getting dunked on. Can't get much higher in an Anglo-Saxon system than an Anglo-Saxon prince. This is why some black men read this like they read the matriarchy as an existential threat, and why some black women read this as we can be mobile and move on. Because we can. Because see, Some black men still express their resentment that black women had more opportunities even back in slavery. They refuse to acknowledge what we paid for those opportunities. Our most intimate parts of our bodies, our children sold from us back then. We paid heavily. And many times we use those advantages to keep our sons alive too. But they don't ever take that into account because they're ashamed that they couldn't rescue us. They couldn't rescue black women from slavery when they were captured in Africa. They were captured themselves. And all honor and credit given to the United States colored troops, 180,000 strong, 66,000 of them made the ultimate sacrifice. The war could not have been won without them, but 180,000 men would have been eaten alive alone. It took the other 1.62 million white troops. Need they needed they needed each other. But that also means black women have always had a choice. That door has always been open. And there's no corresponding door for black men because even white men, rich white men who are functionally gay, are not going to change the mobility scale. It doesn't serve them to do that. If I wanted to do it, there are things I could tell you that could chill your blood about some of the founding fathers, not all. We know about Thomas Jefferson and his understandable desire for beautiful Sally Hemings. There's some other unnatural things that went on, but this is not that video. There is a way out of this, and I mentioned Russell and Ciara. And really, Serena and Alexis and Venus and Andrea, having done a little research on Andrea, and also Michelle and Barack tell us the same thing. All of these people pursued excellence in their field, and so they were in circles to meet each other. They don't sit up here and have these arguments. My sister and I are single. We don't have these arguments. The black men we know are excellent. We don't deal with any other kind. The example that our excellent father set us absolutely forbids that. But all the people that we tend to deal with are excellent in their fields because we are excellent. Not perfect, but in what we do, we are excellent. And so we work with people who are excellent. The way out of this is, well, let me go back. Even though we recognize, okay, first of all, it's an existential threat to be at the bottom of any caste system. It is a threat to your life and your freedom to be at the bottom of any caste system. So there is an existential threat. It does exist. I'm not saying that it doesn't. What I need you to understand is there is still, even in Donald Trump's America, an opportunity to be mobile. To take another thing, there is a reason that American Black people are frustrated with the fact that Her Honor, the Honorable Yodit Tuvalde, is able to sit up there and sit in judgment over us. You can go online and talk about, well, those tethers shouldn't even be speaking on us, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't change anything. She's going to be on the bench tomorrow, and you still going to go into a courtroom and be judged by her. It is what it is. People feel like it impedes our opportunity for upward mobility because someone is always chosen over us. Maybe, maybe not. The first thing you need to do is get away from average and pursue excellence and find out what happens. This worked for Black people all the way back, by the way. Black people were free in parts of the United States very, very, very early in our history as well, 1790, or at least as early as 1790. So, not that meritorious manumission will always get you there, but if you're average, it doesn't matter. If you're going to be an average American, do you not know that average Americans are sliding into the permanent underclass? And Donald Trump took the conveyor belt and turned it on speed. He put that thing on Olympic speed, y'all. You've heard of Olympic swimming pool. No, this conveyor belt putting you down in the permanent underclass if you are not getting new skills has now gone into hyperspace speed. Presumably you can't break the speed of light, but we about to try to find out. Y'all, and you thought 2025 was interesting? Wait for 2026. And if you get through 2026 and you ain't got no skills, God help you because 2027 and the complete transition of the economy. Some of y'all need to go ahead and pick this up, by the way. You need to pick it up today so you're ready for the opportunities, and that's the point. I did not write this book to stunt on y'all, per se. That was not the reason. That wasn't the reason. I didn't buy that, write that book. Seizing the Crypto Bull Run for Financial Freedom to stunt on y'all. I wrote that so the knowledge would be available for you to take advantage of the opportunities that are coming and to become excellent in learning how the cycles of crypto work. There is a lot of opportunity. If you're watching me on YouTube, you can learn how to do anything you want to do. I think I mentioned Black Girl Stocks in my previous video. If you want to be excellent as a Christian, I have playlists of Bible studies. You can go look through my channel. The summer Bible study is just a study in John. If you would read John and pray as you did it, you would know more than probably 95% of Christians and people who call themselves Christians in the United States of America about who Jesus is and what he wants. If you love me, keep my commandments. The ones he expects you to follow, not all the ones from the Old Testament. Not the 616 that are in the book of Exodus. Not all those apply to you. There are 10 that do, but not all the rest of them. You would find some things out if you read both John and then my next Bible study is Acts. But if you don't have time to do that, you just take a chapter every day and you read it and you ask the Holy Spirit to explain it to you. You would know more than 95% of Christians. You become excellent in knowing who Jesus Christ is. You put time into building the relationship, you become excellent in building the relationship. If you want to learn any skill there is, there are YouTube videos to help you do that. You put them in the you put them in the in the search box. Whatever you're interested in, there's somebody doing it now. You got to be able to vet them. You got to avoid things that are hype. But YouTube is basically a university. Then there are things like Podia, Confidence with Love courses, the Self-Confident Black Woman, Vetting 101, Vetting 102 are on Podia. Udemy. School builds communities around teachers. Superprof has people who are professors and things like that available to actually guide you in there. See, when I get ready to really go back to getting my German back together, it did well enough to get me through that Christmas Eve program, but the reason that worked was because I know that they're reading from the same Bible that I am. I know enough words to know we're talking about the same thing. That wouldn't cut it if I, decided to go to Germany. That wouldn't work if I happened to roll up on, let's say there was a big German out there who fell in love with me. I wouldn't be able to keep up with him. I would not be excellent in his language. I just not don't have that ability. But if I wanted to become excellent in his language because I wanted to work with Christian German musicians who have a very high interest in gospels and spiritual, as it happens, because I told y'all they were out there singing "Go Tell It on the Mountain," didn't I? I would have to improve my German. So if I was going to pursue opportunities to work with Germans, most of whom speak good English, at least if they're from West Germany, but even so, it would behoove me to bring my skills up. Well, all this stuff is available. I learned about crypto through YouTube videos. I learned about crypto through reading articles that I found out through YouTube videos and doing my own study. And when I had done this, and then through doing it, through doing the trades, through checking in, I found out the length of the crypto market and how to find out what that was going to be and to be able to predict that in those studies. I became excellent by doing the work, but it started out on YouTube. I didn't go to school for that. Now, I did really well at school, and I'm an autodidact, which means I'm someone who will learn on her own. Not everybody has that ability, but that's why I say things like school, SKOOL, Udemy, Podia. Get courses where you can learn and have access to a teacher to help you. If you need more community, then look at things like school. And there are other websites like that. Become part of learning communities because not everybody's meant to do it by themselves. One of the things I learned this year, like really learned it, frustrated because enough of you did, I don't hear enough about you, enough of y'all being able to double, triple, quintuple your money by reading my book. I'm frustrated that I don't know about enough of you that benefited your lives like that. And I don't need y'all to come out here and make yourselves targets. I'm not saying put that in the description. Please don't. Especially if you're a black woman. Don't make yourself a public target. But what I'm saying is, having recognized you cannot do what I do, and I'm not the standard for what you can do. I've really come to deeply understand that. But pursuing excellence is being excellent at what you are called to do and what you were created to do. And when you do that, you have less time and less need to argue with other people. A lot of the arguing between black men and women is simply this: people who realize they ain't gonna make it and blaming each other. Black men blame black women because it's that commenter that apparently I made a video in response, and someone made a response in there, but it'll never show. So I'm guessing he was still running his fingers, but of course it never showed. But he got blocked because he proposed what black men often propose. When we achieve freedom, then we'll deal with the problems later. No, because Frederick Douglass and Martin Luther King took the freedom that they had to be adulterers against the black women who helped them become Frederick Douglass and Dr. Martin Luther King. Meaning that the more freedom you get, the more likely the top black men are to act like top men act in all patriarchal societies. We're not interested in going toward a freedom that has that as the assumption because there's no evidence that black men will become holy just because they are more free. By the way, that's not a knock on black men. That's human nature. In order to become holy, you need to be redeemed by Jesus Christ so that you can be holy as he is holy because you have the Holy Spirit. There's all kind of different spirits you can worship, but the Holy Spirit is only given by Jesus Christ. That's not a knock on black men. That's everybody. Black women are not always out here being holy either. The behavior of the sister in the courtroom was also embarrassing. She just knew what the limit was. She knew how to attack him emotionally so that he would blow himself up in court. But she caught the cues faster from watching how the queen from Ethiopia dealt with him, that if she modified her behavior, they would then get done what she wanted. So she was behaving embarrassingly. She wasn't holy either. Black women are humans, meaning we are capable of all human bad behavior. This is not an argument for the perfection of black women. That does not exist. We're not perfect either. We're human. But the point is, the more we as black women pursue what we are called to do, and it is not necessary to sit there and allow black men to misuse us while we get to their idea of freedom. No, we get, like that woman said, I am me and I'll choose my idea. And I'm putting all y'all in the wind. We get to do that. We get to pursue our own idea of freedom. Women like Stephanie Perry, and even to a point, see, I need to tell y'all about GON, Global Olandari Nation, which is a whole organization coming together of black women who are ready to build for themselves and for their children, who are simply in a situation of understanding that because this argument is going on, we can't wait on black men to do it, especially if they're openly expressing, like last week, that their idea of freedom is to continue to do the foolery that they're doing to us and then we'll figure it out later. But later never comes. Frederick Douglass passed away 120 years ago. Later never comes. 1877. Hold on. 140 years ago. Altman was 150. Later never comes. And we're not going to do that. So we have options for that too. For black women who want to build together in this country and elsewhere in the globe eventually. But also Stephanie Perry is like, you don't even have to sit inside the American caste system. Black women, you can get out of it and be free entirely. And if you're married and you love your husband and you want him to come with you and you two can work together on that, we're not knocking that. But you don't need to. You don't need to take a man with you. This is for black women, no matter what their situation is. One of the channels they recommend is Our Black Utopia. Halisi and Vincent, I think. They are a beautiful black couple. Black wife, black husband. And they are beautiful. And they are balanced. And they are doing the darn thing. And they're not dealing with the American caste system anymore. They're dealing with other things in their country of choice. But you don't even have to be part of this. This argument is taking place between black men and women who do not recognize another world is possible. Listen, I've sat up here and told you about a world in which you can get a form of digital money that you can trade for pretty much any major currency on earth. There are people out here living on what's called the Bitcoin standard. That book shows you how to get it. Seizing the Crypto Bull Run for Financial Freedom. I've given you tools myself. You're on YouTube. You can find the Exodus Summit. And if you're a black man, you can listen. Just control your emotions and go get mad because Stephanie Perry doesn't make content for you. If you can learn how to listen to a black woman instead of fussing with a black woman, You can get enough. I have black male subscribers who've talked about it. They've learned things from being here. And there are black male channels that I listen to and learn a lot from because I don't have to have this fight. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Whom the Son sets free is free indeed. See, I'm in Jesus Christ. I ain't worried about none of y'all. Y'all cannot stop whatever God has for me. So I don't have to argue with people about it. That's why I go block, blickety, block, block on these black men who dare to suggest that we should just sit up here and wait on them and to get unity. We don't have unity with people who are cheating and bringing side babies and STDs, and then we'll work it all out later. No, because that baby can't go back into the womb, and some of these STDs can't be here. No, I don't have to. Block, lickety, block, block. That's why I ain't got to do all that. That's why I can have the last word. I have men on Facebook who are trying to add me as a friend because I said what I had to say to them and stopped arguing. They don't know I left the information there for the women. I just used them as the vessel. And you just see them women just coming by, just heartening and loving and just learning. They don't even understand. I do not have to argue with men, even in my own circle, because these men are all Christian men. I'm going to go so far and I'm going to let them know. Listen, if I'm wrong, the Holy Spirit can explain it to you better than I can. We both have a Father in heaven. I'm turning you over to Him. Do you know my Father in heaven has never yet failed me? And sometimes I have been wrong. So He's also fair. He brings me up when I'm just being out of pocket because that can't happen. I'm a human being. I can't always be right. But I have a tiebreaker. I don't have to do all that. The Bible actually says, tell people twice what's going on. If they refuse, leave them alone. Ain't nobody have to do more than you than that. And that's for the brothers and the sisters in Christ. We don't owe anybody outside of that anything but the gospel. So I can help you or not help you. In San Francisco, I get to pass all kinds of people on the street in all kinds of different situations. I do not have the financial wherewithal to help everybody. So I have to make decisions, but it's up to me. I'm actually free. I'm not arguing with anybody about it. I'm not checking in with anybody about it. This is between me and God. As a single woman, I get permitted to live more peacefully. The Bible says I'm going to live more peacefully as a single woman, just walking with God. That's what I'm choosing to do because I'm not waiting on and therefore do not have to be angry with any black man. I'm not waiting on and therefore I'm not worshiping any white man either. Jesus isn't white, y'all. Could you please read the genealogy of mankind in Genesis chapters 10, was it chapter 12, 10, 11, and 12? Read the genealogies, figure out what line Jesus comes from, and then realize ain't no drop of Proto-European blood in him because the lines are reckoned through the fathers ain't nary one. We do know we have some Hamitic mothers, however, at least two. Maybe as many as four, but at least two. We do know that. Some North African women are in his line in their place of origin. We do know that. Got some black mamas in there by American standards. We know that. Because Canaan is Carthage. Shout out to King Hannibal, who did his very best to hold off the Romans. Did his best. He failed. We might have not succeeded, but he did 20 years. He bought a generation of Carthaginians, some of the last of the Canaanites, who from that region of the world. He bought them 20. If you only lived 19 years, he bought that generation of people 19 years of being free. He did the very best he could, but he failed. That line of people, though, persists in the line of Christ. But there's not a drop of Indo-European, Proto-Indo-European blood from the line of Japheth in him. So no, I'm not waiting on any white man to do anything for me because I can be free without reference. See, decentering men is very important. Once you decenter them, you also don't have to argue with them. It is, if you are a Christian, Psalm 118:8, it is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in men. There's no asterisk on what color. You don't have to do any of this. Pursue becoming excellent in what you are here to do. Get your job skills together. Get your business skills together. Get your finance skills together. Get your relationship skills together with people who are in your own. If you see black men and women as a different group, get your relational skills together. Really get to understand the people around you. Confidence with Love's Vetting 101 course will really help you with that, but you really need to take the self-confidence course for Black women. If you're a Black man, oh well, that's not for you. I can't do anything about who she chooses to offer her courses to, but you can listen to Tony Gaskins, R.C. Blake's, Anthony O'Neill. Uh, some of the less virulent manosphere channels do have some wisdom, but it comes with poison. So I can't really recommend any of them. David Burris, slightly older man. There's wisdom out there for you. If you truly seek it, you can find it. You can. There's wisdom out there for you. Can't always get it from Black women. And see, that's the other part of the existential threat. If Black women start putting the energy into themselves and to their children, now obviously about half of Black women's children are sons, so it's not like Black men will not benefit from that in the future too. It's just like I don't know why people don't ever understand that part, since half our children are sons. But not everything is for everybody. But at the same time, wisdom and ability, common grace covers every human being. So once you begin to bring your mind out of looking to blame someone else, be mad at someone else for you not having what you need, and understanding that you can go get the things that you need and that you can find the things that you need, and that actually they're as close to you as YouTube in many cases, then you don't have to fight with everybody else. If that brother and sister could have just realized they ain't got to take the trouble in the family out on each other. And of all the things that passed down from whatever happened the way their mother, their father was not mentioned. Whatever it was that happened there, if they could have resolved that, they never would have been in court. But they couldn't. And so they publicly humiliated each other and themselves. And you have one more family that is permanently broken up. One more Black man that feels like the patriarchy did him wrong and the system favors the women. And one more woman that does not have a mother or a brother she can count on for anything. And there's absolutely nothing that can be done within the paradigm that we're in. But you don't have to stay there. Pursue excellence in your calling, whatever it is. And as you do this, you will get into circles of people that are doing the same thing who have no reason to fight with you because there's no competition. If you're a Black woman and you take the self-confidence course, one of the big four questions, who is your competition? You may find out as you continue to grow and develop that there you have no competition. I'm DeAndy Matthews. There will never be another me. The only competition I have is the less ready, less disciplined version of myself. And sometimes that's a real fight. It's holiday time. I still have weight to lose. So I have to now be in competition with people that likes the same holiday food that y'all do. And I have to beat that. I've been pretty successful so far. Not completely. And one day that was not as good. And so sometimes then you look at the next day and you say, okay, or you look at the next meal and you say, okay, since I went here, now I have to be disciplined enough to cut back here. And you keep your mind going on, I need to better myself. It's holiday season. You will have enough to do in any season, competing with the less ready, less disciplined version of yourself, not to have time to fight with other people. Gentlemen who have gotten blocked on my channel, I am not blocking you because I feel that I'm better than you. I block you because I need to discipline myself not to be bothered. Because what you're saying is, first of all, an abomination. The idea, historically, that men are going to self-correct if they cannot self-correct under duress when it would be to their interest to treat Black women better, and they don't. So they're going to do this when they're under less pressure. It's an abomination to even suggest it, but it's also historically a lie. Because prominent Black men, when they have had their freedom, have done the same thing over and over and over. Sharon Moore is an adulterer. I don't care who he lays down with, except for that. And of course, I don't care about that much because that was a flash in the pan and it's gone. I don't care about Tory Lanez being a rapper, but he got convicted of shooting a black woman. That's where it becomes a problem. I hate that Frederick Douglass and Dr. Martin Luther King unfortunately left some evidence. I hate that their legacy has to be thrown into question and used as fodder for bigotry, but they left it. I hate that. I hate that a bunch of black women are out here doing fool and following the foolery and investing in mess instead of investing in themselves. Because he ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody intrinsically better than anyone else. Now, this is where Confidence with Love and I disagree because she does believe that black women are intrinsically better, being as they are complications of and being as they are in the bloodline of the original black goddesses. So she and I differ here because Christianity, the Bible clearly says all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, meaning that none of us is above another in terms of general worth and general need of being redeemed. This is where she and I differ. Um, I don't see, but here's what she and I agree. You look at the history of the United States of America and what group of people has most consistently worked for the good of everyone around them. Harriet Tubman, not Harry. Ida B. Wells, not Adam. And then Anna and Coretta sat there and just took how they were being treated and were quiet so that Martin and Frederick were not destroyed publicly for what white men said black men were always doing anyway. They stayed quiet for the sake of all the rest of us. Who's always asked to do that and who most often does? Black women. Who nursed the 180,000 colored troops and never gets mentioned since white women weren't going to do it? In some cases. There were some white nurses that did, of course, but I'm saying who received those men back home? Hint, hint, who was Sergeant Tubman's wife? Who's quietly borne the labor of that so that our men could be prominent? So not only did we do prominent things on our own, we swallowed a lot of stuff. We did that. We took care of everybody's children. Black women took care of the children of the people that hated them the most. And even laid down by someone that they hated, knowing that perhaps I can use this. I have no choice but to do this or die. But since I have to be in this position, maybe I can help my children out. Maybe I can use it to protect the man, the black man that I actually may love here. Maybe I can convince Massa to not sell him off or not something. Maybe I'm gonna be able to clean this person's house and have to endure this, but I'm gonna bring the money home that's necessary so that I can send my son to a historical black college and university. We don't ever talk about that is what black women have done with their access. That's a different video. And black men have who are light-skinned have infiltrated the KKK and done all kinds of amazing things because they became excellent in doing what was necessary for the people. And nobody was ever perfect in doing it. But the thing is, we can stop the arguments. There is a more excellent way. Focus on what you're called to do and maintain your mobility inside the limitations of this caste system. And once you have enough skills, you do know you can leave it. Because Stephanie Perry and the Exodus Summit have made a way for you to leave it. And if you as a black man can pay attention and not get mad that black women are leaving it, you can learn to leave it too. You just have to be willing to listen to and learn from black women. But the passport bros and the manosphere out there too, although reports are the passport bros are not doing as well in some countries, but get the skills about how to do a passport and all the rest of it, and then you do what you need to do. And there are black men who are traveling. What is his name? There are a couple of black men travel channels that are out there too. The Ship Life. He's a black man who travels using cruise ships and so forth. They're out there. I watch some of them. I learn from them. You don't have to be locked into this paradigm. The other question is in the self-confidence course for black women, do you believe there's a box? Do you know if you pursue excellence for yourself, you may find out, and by the way, I'm not talking about black excellence where we try to be the best consumers and have status. I'm not talking about that, trying to convince people that are not going to ever move that caste system off of us, that we deserve to have it moved off. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about excellence in the sense of you know what you're called to do, you know what you're made to do, you get very good at doing it, and see what doors that opens. Okay? But you don't have to deal with this. You get good enough at getting a global skill. You don't even have to be here and live in that paradigm, but you have to believe it here first. And once we start, see, I live among black men and women who do not have these arguments with each other. We're doing what we got to do to nine figures of responsibility doing it. Ain't nobody got time for these silly arguments. You can maybe not achieve the nine figures. This is a special situation that we inherited from a very enlightened black couple, Pastor D. Manning and Sister Minnie Ruth Jackson. I've talked about them before. Sister Jackson was my direct mentor. So mine is a unique situation, but you can find your unique situation. So many have. And they don't have to spend time having these arguments about what the man or the woman is not doing for them. You get out there and discover what you're supposed to do, and you do it better and better and better, and the fighting stops. That's the only way it's going to stop. You can waste your life being mad at black men. You can waste your life being mad at black women, going back and forth every day, pursuing the content, wanting to see one or the other brought down. Sitting up here talking about the federal government. I'm so glad the government broke up with black women and just turned, and then 2 days before the snap was turned back on. Just not understanding how things work and showing everybody else who's in a higher caste position that you don't deserve to have anything because you didn't bother to find out how something worked. You don't have to be out there humiliating one another and proving that we belong in that undercast. When I say proving, it doesn't mean that we actually deserve to be there, but confirming people's bigotry is what I mean. Proving to them because this is what they're trying to prove, giving them rationalizations and excuses. That's not necessary. I have now told you there is a way out of that. Mind your business. Get your life together. Get your life together. Stop looking for someone else to be mad at and pursue the things you need to. Get you a copy of Season the Crypto Bull Run of Financial Freedom. You know how you see the commercials where you can help some animal for 30 cents a day? See the Crypto Bull Run if you want to get the beautiful paperback that Black woman Tamara Myrick, also known as AKA the True Mystique, AKA the Golden Enigma, put together for me. 33 cents a day, 9.99. I've kept it at its holiday price. I may do one more giveaway, actually, of this book because we're going into the bear period, and I'm actually thinking about doing a companion book, Season the Crypto Bear Market for Financial Freedom. So you have time to learn it and get ready for the next upcycle. But we're not quite sure this cycle is done. It may be extended, so I'm kind of waiting on some stuff. I've decided to leave the fifth book alone, though, as a historical document because my prediction did come out. Maybe exactly when it began, shifted a little bit to started a little bit earlier than we expected, but ended pretty much on time, as I predicted. So I'm probably going to leave that alone as a historical document and probably do a follow-up book on that. But get the one that's there. It'll teach you what the cycle looks like, and right now it seems to be holding, and you'll have that for 2027, 2028. 33 cents a day. 2 cups of coffee at Starbucks. Use YouTube. You can look at my Crypto Auntie D playlist. If you don't have money right now, I respect it. Maybe you can only afford an ebook, 16 cents a day. And I'm not putting this out there to sell this book to you like I need the money. I wrote it, so I used what I wrote. But I want you to understand that you can change your paradigm. Start looking for channels that will assist you in learning things you want to learn about, skills you may be able to use. Look for Black content creators that are doing these things already. There are plenty of us out here. And pursue excellence. Develop yourself. Develop your skills. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. We are free today partially because Union General Ulysses S. Grant, who was in command of the Union Army, had an epiphany. He told his soldiers one good day, if y'all don't stop coming in here Now, I'm putting it in African American vernacular English because I don't have it in front of me. If y'all do not stop coming in here talking about what Robert E. Lee is going to be doing, stop worrying about what Robert E. Lee is going to be doing. We're going to focus on what we're going to do. 9 months later, the war was over, and black people were free 11 months later. June 19th, 1865 in Texas. Now, there is some cleanup. It actually took till 1868 to get everybody free, and then sharecropping was going to. There's a lot of stuff that happened. But the point is, Grant won the war when he stopped worrying about what the other side's going to do and got busy doing what he was going to do. And that's how the Civil War was won. Starts up here. Get your life together in 2026. Now I'm gonna do another video, maybe another day, but you're running out of time. As the Lord Jesus told Judas Iscariot, that which thou doest, do quickly. 2026 is about to be a humdinger. I warn you most solemnly, get your life together while you can and not be collected by the higher caste, the people that have a plan for your life if you don't. Pursue the more excellent way, please. If you are a Christian, the most important thing for you to do is to invest in your relationship with Christ. If you read John and ask him to teach you who he is, what he wants, and how he means to care for you. If you just read one chapter every day, if you look up the Summer Bible Study playlist, I can help you with that some. It's on my channel. If you're on YouTube, you can find it. Just click on my name and go and look at my playlist and pull up the Summer Bible Study. Jesus, John, and Women. That'll help you some. I get tired watching us just discombobulate ourselves on the world stage because we don't know what else to do. The purpose of this video was not to denigrate black women or black men. I wanted to acknowledge the real fear, the existential threat that we do feel, and let you know you do not have to live in fear. There is something you can do. Now, it's up to you. All right. Y'all have a good day now. Goodbye. Thank you for listening. Oh, I still got to do the 1,000 subscribers video. Thank you. I have 1,001, 1,002, somewhere in that ballpark today. Thank you for that. Goodbye.